Live from the Outpost Studios in Columbus, Ohio, you're listening to All Natural Being with Brian Brawdy. Brought to you by IPMNation.com. Get ready for the gong heard round the world.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All Natural Being. Warning, All Natural Being with Brian Brawdy is designed to shake your sense of self to the core.
It's full contact psychology with an empowering twist, a philosophical loofah for your soul.
For those of you not ready or comfortable releasing your inner superhuman, listener discretion is advised.
Here's your host,
Brian Brawdy.
Good evening once again. Welcome. Now that as I mentioned earlier, now that I finally figured out the mouse, welcome and thank you for stopping by. Are you kidding me? The 380th episode. Thank you for hanging out. I appreciate that. 380 episodes of the number one rated show here on IPMNation.com. You're into All Natural Being and the gong. I hit a little hard tonight, so I guess it was louder than it normally is, but the gong heard around the world broadcast. Every time we're here, it's as it happens, thanks to our good friends at Telestream's Wirecast, right here on IPMNation.com. Multicast live on Facebook, over at allnaturalbeing.com, and on our Brian Brawdy app as well. But however you come to hang with us, we're always pumped to have you live from the Transitional Radio Uplink in beautiful Columbus, Ohio. As always, we rebroadcast our little soiree, a little get-together on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spotify, YouTube, you know. All the usual suspects, all the time it happens. Jury is still out on Twitter. Well, I don't know. What do you think? I'm thinking of keeping it just to pick fights with all the hot heads wrapped in thin skin. Maybe, I was even kicking around earlier with a friend of mine, maybe we'll start a GoFundMe page for a new concept we're working on called, it's not Twitter, it's called Trigger. And I know what you're thinking, right? But it will be a public service, teaching people not to be snowflakes. However it plays out, right? Greetings wherever you are, here in the garden of the mortals, the labyrinth of life itself. Your shot at running the table, at leveling out where you see fit. You don't need permission from anyone other than the mirror. It's in your blood. Now you just have to get your mind to remember who and what and where you ultimately are. That's why we're here 5 nights a week, to be your amnesia buster, to be your friendly blue force, always putting your heart's highest priority top of the list, where I think, and I'm pretty sure you know it belongs, reinstalling and reinstating the true wit, wisdom, and wallop of your inner whisper, rebooting your robust, finding your ferocious, commencing your counterpunch, all in time to outbrutal the brutal that is the cut and shuffle that fate deals you, or can deal us, on a daily basis, and to bring your own bold BYOB once and for all. Someone asked me today, how do you see it as left of bang, like pre-tipping point, right? If you'll permit me to culturally appropriate the author Malcolm Gladwell. Simple. It's very simple. There's a storm coming. And for those of you listening and going, ooh, I'm thinking that phrase is a dog whistle. Well, it's a dog whistle for there's a storm coming. Well, what are you going to do? But before we hit it this evening, I want to say a very special hello to my friends here in the United States and Canada, Mexico, the UK, my good friends in Ecuador, China, the Philippines, Brazil, India, Australia, Germany, Italy, France, Nigeria, Turkey, Japan, Singapore, Thailand, Belgium, Sweden, Israel, South Africa, Egypt, Puerto Rico, Kenya, the Netherlands, Iran, Colombia, Greece, Ireland, Argentina, Peru, Austria, Poland, to those joining us from all over the globe, or the disc, as it were, whatever you believe. It's great to have you with us, and I truly am fired up today, as I am every day, to be driving your bandwagon, to be your virtual hitchhiker. And if you're on your go, right, if you're out and about, running around, you're listening on ipmnation.com/TR now, I love riding shotgun. And one of the things I dig about it is getting to hang with you. So as I ask every evening, what are we waiting for? Here's your opportunity once and for all to mortal up. It's time to love the way you think. It's time to be your all-natural being. What could be a better time? So what do you say? Let's go kick in some doors. And, I put a little post up earlier today because this show can't always be about me just getting on and ranting, right? Just about things that I learn or I see throughout the day and this and that and everything else. And it's normally, I should say this, talking about a public service announcement. Normally, it would be Lee Words Wednesdays. My good friend Lee Rowley from Sales Copy Academy would be joining us and everything else. But we're very excited to announce he's going to be in studio with us tomorrow night. It'll be Thursday night. He'll be here hanging out, so we'll do a Lee Words Thursdays, or Theraply, as I like to call it. We'll do it Thursday nights. And then tomorrow night, after All Natural being at 8:30 will be, of course, Thinking Re-envisioned with the incomparable Henry G. Noel. And then at 9 o'clock, Lee and I are going to kick off with, a guest will be calling in, and we're going to put Lee through the paces. We're going to write some taglines, maybe some thesis sentences. There's another word for it. Lee's better at this than I am. Thesis sentence. But we're going to launch. Tomorrow will be the launch of Copy That Speaks here on Transitional Radio, ipmnation.com/TR now, and where a guest will call in, and then Lee and I will kind of banter around. There's whiteboards. There's, beakers of different things, they'll all work together. And instead of just templatized copy, you're going to get real, fresh, the vibrant copy right as it happens. And that'll be kicking off tomorrow night at 9 Eastern. Copy That Speaks, again, with Lee Rowley from Sales Copy Academy. We're very excited about that. All right, so enough of the business out of the way. Wayne let me know a little bit earlier that I'm doing better each day in buying back some time, getting out at the bottom of the hour. And last night I hit in 29:59. So he actually owes me a second now. So that's that. All right, here's what I wanted to talk about tonight, because it's not just because I'm a fan of comedians. I happen to love comedians. I happen to have people that I love that are comedians, right? We get all that. But what's fascinating to me is that comedians are now taking it on the chin. It's like you got to be a gladiator in the Coliseum. And I want to share with you an event. You may have heard about it. My good friend Matt Connerton from IPM Nation turned me on to this earlier today when he tagged me in a post. And then, I was just going about my day, doing my own thing. And then I go, wait a minute, I think this is what Matt was talking about. But I'm going to say it's Nimesh Patel. And he's a stand-up comedian, Emmy award-winning writer, I think, for Saturday Night Live. Just, pretty smart, a pretty smart guy. And he's invited on stage, right, to be the stand-up comic. He's invited at the Poison Ivy League School. You may have heard of it, Columbia. He's invited at Columbia to give a thing, and they boot him. They grab his microphone, you know what I mean? They do all these things, and they kick him off stage. And what did they say? The other people that are complaining about it go, there's a free speech crisis at the Poison Ivy League's schools around the country, and that they said they were deeply offended. Let me see, what are some of the other things here in the article? I'll post Wayne, if you can, could you post the Daily News link or whatever link where you find it? But they were talking about, and here's the thing, the event that he was there was called Culture Shock. Well, apparently they were in for a little bit of a jolt, maybe not so much a shock, but a jolt. Maybe not so much like actually grabbing the electric fence with both hands, but maybe sometimes like a lightning strike is nearby and you kind of feel. Maybe it was more like a jolt than a shock. But the article says apparently Patel was too shocking for culture shock. They were offended. The organizers responded by cutting his mic. Shut up, they said. And then he left. Tried to defend himself, right? So later they said that Columbia University, the bastion of the Big C, Columbia University apologized, quote, for the hurt his words caused. And I thought, well, I would bring it up tonight and talk about my friends that are comedians and other people that I know, that if we're getting to a point where these are the people that we're cookie cuttering, we're putting them out of these Ivy League schools so that they can wait tables and drive Uber as they pay off their college loans. If we're busy putting all these people out, and so the future leaders of our country are hurt by words, the article says. And it just goes on to say they were shocked. And even though he has a terribly progressive point of view, they say that he had violated this stay in your lane. So let me just announce tonight before we get to the thread that these are, let me see, there was one young lady from Columbia. I watched him use this experience to make white people ponder. Comedians should be allowed to tell jokes about different communities. It's hard. Under what circumstances? She found him unoriginal. Here was my favorite thing. Martin also claims that Patel got kicked out not because, quote, they were sensitive snowflake audience, but because he sucked the energy out of the room and soiled, their words, not ours, soiled an uplifting event. We're not hypersensitive. We just felt that a problematic joke ruined our whole evening. No, we're not hypersensitive. We're just hot heads wrapped in thin skin. We're people that believe that outrage is the new orange, so they bring a guy in to be a comedian, and then they boot him, wait for it, for being a comedian. And in and of itself, you'd go like, Brian, look, we got better things to do. We can't be talking about this. We can't be taken up tonight, thinking, oh, what are you going to do about this? What are you going to do about that? But here's the thing. This is the future generation. These are the people that are going to be like leading our country, right? You would think. And these are the caliber of people, which leads me to another thing I mentioned, then we'll hop here in the thread. Good evening, John. Good evening, Candace. Thank you for joining us. Mary, nice to see. I love the picture of you, Mary. I think it was Joseph and a birthday cake and a phone hanging on the wall. It was a great picture of you guys, so I enjoyed that. Henry, thank you. Oh, value statement. Thank you, Lee. Yes, we're going to be working on value statements. I'm an old guy. I said thesis statement. Yeah. Almost didn't get out of high school. I think I got a GED. Value statement. John, hello, everyone. Wayne, one day out of how many? I know, right? I'm hoping to buy back enough time to actually get a vowel at some point here. Let me say hello to Kathy. Kathy, thank you very much. Wayne, thank you for putting the article up. I think we need to put words on a baseball bat. Henry, always the peacemaker. And here's the thing. I'm the one that slammed. You get the Kumbaya title. I get the Genghis Khan title. And you say we should indelibly etch some words on a baseball bat. That's what I love about you, brother. Joseph says people should just apologize before speaking. All right, so let me do this. Let me just apologize in advance. Because please, if you're a Mick, well, technically I'm more from Wales than I am from, I'm more Welsh than Irish, but please call me a Mick. If you have any hair lip jokes, brain damaged would be good. If you have any jokes about people with brain tumors, I'll take those. Being from West Virginia, being born in Pittsburgh, being a mountaineer, right? As I said, from West Virginia. Being an ex-cop, please call me a pig, right? Here's the thing. Please be as derogatory as you anticipate you could possibly be, because here's the thing. I just don't care, right? Right? I grew up believing that sticks and stones may hurt my bones, but names will break my bones, I guess, but names will never hurt me. So feel free to use any slur, any derogatory thought, any statement that you think, this will throw this will throw a wrench, a fly into Brian's ointment. We'll call him a Mick. We'll call him a pig. We'll call him a hair lip. We'll call him I don't know, whatever you could use for that, because you ought to be able to say whatever you want about me. You just ought to be. So please, and hopefully that falls into the category of Joseph when he says we should apologize before speaking. Kathy says that is the scary part. Henry says, our future comedians, you're so doomed. Yes, I am, Joseph. From day one, brother, if you only knew. I am doomed, right? But here's why I think I would bring it up again. We have to start standing up sooner or later and say, look, you can't be like this. If you happen to see any of the footage today, and this is not a political thing, it's not a political show. I couldn't care less about the different parties. I couldn't care less about, right? But we basically in this country had two choices: Republican or Democrat, President Trump or Hillary Clinton in the last election. So they get a chance today. I'm assuming since the inauguration they haven't been within 5 feet of each other, right? And these two bastions of human intellect, these two pillars of what it takes to lead our country, the greatest, right? Just the greatest people, the greatest melting pot, what it's going to take to lead our country. And they don't even talk to each other. They're 3 feet away. If I were President Trump, I would have walked right up to Bill Clinton and Hillary, stuck out my hand, and made them ignore me. I'd walk right up to Bill Clinton, and I would have stuck my hand out and made Bill Clinton go, hey, anyone got any change? Looking for change. Right? And I would have walked up and went ahead and hug Hillary Clinton and had her go like this, right? But these two brainiacs, these people that we say, well, one of these two, let's flip a coin. Oh, well, here's how it went. One of these two is going to lead the United States of America, and these two thin skins can't even shake, right? They can't even let political bygones be bygones at a whole ceremony that's about someone that's bygone. That's really what it's come to. That's the caliber of person that we say should be the top of the ticket for the two parties that represent us in this country. Their noses are so out of joint, they can't even shake each other's hands. They can't even look at each other. And I don't care what you think about Trump, and I'm President Trump. I don't care what you think about, well, Hillary Clinton. I couldn't care less. I'm just saying these are the people that we elect. These are the people that say, no, these are the smartest, brightest minds, right? Well, until we get more people from Columbia who pull off comedians for being comedians. It's not like the guy was working the crowd robbing people, right? It's not like he had a collection plate and he was going, look, he's got a knife and he's going, put the money in the plate. Come on, let's go. No, he was hired to be a comedian. He was there being a comedian, and these hotheads wrapped in thin skin. Oh, it's offensive. Oh, I'm triggered. Oh, I'm just mortified. Oh, the words were so hurtful. That's the history, right? Or better yet, that's the future. It's the history that we're making now is going to be our future. Those are the people that are going to get us into a pretty decent-sized war. Why? Oh, because they said some very vicious things. Yes. Oh, so let's all go to war and kill each other over somebody's words. That's the intellectual heft, right? Those are the brainiacs that we have that want to be in control. They can't even put their differences aside long enough to greet each other at a funeral. I didn't say they had to go to lunch afterwards. I didn't share they had to say the limo on the way out of there. But these are the people, right? So thin-skinned. Oh, I can't say hello. She said some very mean things during the campaign. Or, oh, she was just vicious to me. That's the best we can do? I don't care who you voted for. I really don't. But I'm just asking you, that's the best we can do? All right, let me say hello to Candace. And to Lee. Lee, thank you very much. Rita, thank you for joining us. Heather, thank you for joining us. That they are the future generation. I know, Kathy, it just makes me want to shake my head. I find it hard to insult you because of the Dame Bramage. I know, right? I was talking to my good friend today. A good friend of mine today, he says, oh, let me get the thought out before it leaks out the back of my head. And I go, are you making fun of me because I have a hole in the back of my head? Are you trying to culturally appropriate someone with a gaping golf ball size hole that used to be a brain tumor? You trying to culturally appropriate that, pal? That's what you're going to bring into the paint? I'm triggered. I'm mortified. I can't even believe you would say that to me. So this evening, that's what we were going to talk about, is what we have to do to be able to make a stand and stop all this political correctness. Stop the snowflake. And I don't care what side of the aisle you're from, but we need to just draw a line and go, no, it's not about that. We need to get back to an all-natural thickness of skin. Right? Or we're going to end up in a really bad way. As I said in the open, there's a storm coming. Oh, that's a dog whistle. That's a dog. You know what? It just dawned on me. I'd love to get a dog whistle as a gag, but I don't think we could hear it. So, all right. So here's my dog whistle. right? Did you hear that? No, it's a dog whistle. Get it? Idiots. All right, so that's what we wanted to talk about this evening. What are you doing to inoculate yourself from the snowflakes in your life? What are you doing to make sure, right? And I knew you're thinking, oh, Bri, I love that idea of maybe just go over to Twitter and pick a fight and then come back and say, oh, well, we have a new social media platform called Triggered. Right? Because I really do think it would be a public service. At least it will be a public service to our kids and our grandkids, future generations, that we start cultivating leaders that, my good golly, can take a punch and not take it personal. Unbelievable. All right, Lee says, yeah, I said it, and I hope I made you mad. The highlight of my day, Lee, was watching you spit your coffee out. So don't try to bring it into the paint with me. Alice says, wouldn't that be nice? I was just talking about John. Oh, can we vote them all out? Clean house, start over. I don't have anything bad to say about anyone, but these are the two bigwigs that we have leading, right? And I'm sure the politicians are leaders of other countries around the world, and they can't even acknowledge each other. They got to act like 2-3-year-olds that they're going to take their ball and go home because someone said something mean about them. Good evening. Thank you for calling All Natural. Bing. Who's this, please? Talking about Dame Bramage.
Well, I'm tired of you just holding everything back.
I know.
Why don't you just tell us how you really feel about it?
Well, because Sue was always saying, oh, for the love of God, don't say that, right? And then she'll text me, and then I don't know any better, right? And so I read and I go, oh, Sue just in says, oh, for the love of God, don't say that. And I've already spit it out after she said it. So Mary said, just move to Galt's Gulch with us. Galt's Gulch. I love the great pictures from out there too. Yes, I'm thinking about that, Henry. Of course, I want to talk to you about it. We should start a social media platform called Triggered, and it'll be for all the comedians that have been bounced off stages for being comedians. And then Joe Haggerty. This is what I dig about Joe. He goes and secede. So that's
there
what
you go.
You know what I mean? Just go. That's it. Well, you did. You pulled the ultimate secede. You go, yeah,
yep.
I'm moving to any part of the United States that's south of the equator. Oh, wait, there is no part. So I had to land. Hey, wait a minute. Time out, Noel. Did I get up this morning and see that Cuenca, Ecuador, is now number 2 in terms of cities that tune in? Of all of IPM Nation, you're now number 2.
Yeah, can you believe that? Isn't that awesome?
Fantastic. Congratulations.
The
Meteoric
first international city.
Yeah, international. Yeah, you're an international radio rock star. Well, it's kind of international because we're on the web, right? So we could claim that we're broadcast on every continent in the world, right? Or we could say that.
Right.
But you literally, Cuenca's made it, skyrocketed past Columbus.
Yeah, it's, considering people don't even know where it is. I mean, I think it's fabulous that it's we've got such a great support system here, and the Ecuadorians and the expat, they call themselves expats down here.
Right.
It depends on the definition, but between the expats and the Ecuadorians, the Cuencanos here, they have really been supportive of it, and so I guess it shows that I'm pretty honored. Believe me,
you should be
blown away by this,
and that you have a place in Ecuador on the continent of Africa for people that don't know where Ecuador is, right? Yeah. Well, look, I could have gone to Colombia. You don't know. I have my finger on the pulse. Colombia. Dope. All right, so enough about me and my pet peeves for the day. And Lee, right, enough about us. Mary asks, what's the population in Cuenca? That's a great question. Inquiring minds want to know, Noel.
Yeah, Cuenca is the third largest city in Ecuador. We're running about 650,000 in here in Cuenca. And as far as expats are concerned, they really haven't given us a real defined number, but I'm assuming or trying to calculate it up around 6, 7, 8,000.
Great.
Are expats. And which is really kind of nice. And numbers kind of stays pretty steady. We have about as many people coming in as they are going off. And Yeah, 750,000. There you go. Thank you, Marcia. I appreciate that.
Wasn't
Wow,
that nice of her?
great.
Number
There
two.
it is.
Look at all the applause.
Our resident encyclopedist there. She's got a 750,000 inhabitants in Cuenca, and I honestly have no idea how many there are actually in the country, but
Great.
yeah, that's about it. 750,000.
Hey, well, could you have Marcia, if she's listening, if still on, could you research how many people live in Columbus? I don't even know that. I'd like to know that. No.
Well, wait a minute. We have to ask two questions then.
Okay.
How many people live in Columbus, and how many actually admit they live in Columbus?
Oh, I always say a suburb of Columbus.
A suburb.
Yeah,
There's one. See?
Like I'd say, oh, where'd you go to college? A suburb of Columbia, right? It'd be like, no way, I admit. But that's the thing that scares me. And I know we only have a minute, so you can talk to us about what's going to be on. Oh, hey, tomorrow night on TR Now, Lee Rowley from Sales Copy Academy is going to be kicking off Copy That Speaks, 9 p.m. Eastern. We'll have a guest call in and watch Lee work his magic in person. Very excited about it. So
man.
congratulations,
Go
Henry. Yet
Lee,
another
go
show.
Lee.
Go
That's
Lee.
fantastic.
Yeah, I call it Theraply.
Therapy. There you go.
Yeah. THERA app APLEE. Theraply. Oh, thank you, Wayne. See, Crackerjack staff here. Crackerjack staff at TR Now. Wayne says
Right
Columbus.
on top of it, isn't he?
8. Oh, yes, he is, and he will be any minute with the eyeballs. And Kathy says 879,170. Oh, John, thank you. Kathy, thank you. Wayne, thank you. Everyone joining in. So about 880,000 here in Columbus. Yeah. So, right. So for Cuenca to have less people but move ahead of Columbus in the rankings, that's huge.
I'm like I said, I am so blown away by it, and I can't thank these people down here enough for the support. It's just really remarkable.
Thank you, Joseph, very much. He also says 879,000. So now everyone knows other than me. But we talked about it. Dame Bramage. All right. So
Dame Bramage, yeah,
so
that's
what's
it.
yeah, that was great. Now we can count this as homeschool geography. Yes, I'll take all the credit I can, Mary. That would be great. Homeschool geography. Remember, you heard it here first. Cuenca, Ecuador, on the continent of Africa. Okay. So Henry, what's the? Yeah, I got me a Yale education. There
you go.
Yeah, sure, there you are. Poison Ivy League. I got the shingle to prove it. So what are you talking about tonight on Thinking Re-envisioned?
Well, I thought I'd start a bit of a series here tonight.
Okay.
It'll take a few days to talk about it, I guess. But what I wanted to talk about was, there's been a lot of investigation going on to discover who and what we are, where we're from and stuff. And the conventional wisdom states that we are physical beings. But quantum physics is demonstrating that we are energetic beings. So which is it? Or is it both? And I figured we'll just start a series and we'll start talking about, exactly what are we? Are we energetic beings? And or are we strictly physical and tied to the conventional practical physics? And see what everybody has to think about it. So who are we really? That's really what we're going to talk about.
I like it, and my belief is that everything is energy, right? That's just breaking the science down to. If you keep breaking matter, if you keep chunking it down and down and down, which is why I have the pictures that hang here. Or the artwork that hangs here. We all come, I believe, from that same field, but it sounds like it will be a great discussion. So as I promised Wayne, when it says 2 minutes on that little thing right there, I will let you go so that you can get ready. Thank you for Dame Bramage. I appreciate that. I'll be stealing that as my own. And
you're very welcome.
Have a fantastic show. Hey, this time, call me sometime, right? Call me. Let me know what you're up to. All right, Henry. Have a great show. Say hello to everyone there in Africa for me. And we'll talk to you. Marcy's like, I'm never listening to him again. All right. Good night, brother. Talk to you soon.
Good night.
All right. So thank you so very much for this evening. I promised Wayne that we would begin to wrap it up here. But here's the thought: what are we leaving? Not just here in the States, but in Canada and all over the world. What are we leaving if our politicians can be so thin-skinned that they have to ignore each other, right? That you're late. Am I late already? I don't think I am. TikTok. Oh, Henry's probably late. Eyeballs coming. That's right, Kathy. Eyeballs are on their way. But here's what I said I'd do. When it gets to 30 seconds, I'll cue the music, so that gives me another 20. Thank you all so very much for joining us here at All Natural Being. Thank you for letting me vent. And the question is, what are you doing to protect your kids, your grandkids, the future from these hotheads wrapped in thin skin that can't even take a joke, can't even greet each other in public because the poor little things, their feelings are hurt. All right, we're going to get out of here. We'll see you back here tomorrow night. 30 seconds, I promised, Wayne. All right, we're going to go. Thank you so very much for joining us here at All Natural Being. Till next time, mortal up. Here's Firebeat. Yes. So there you go, Wayne.